Hey everybody, I hope that you're all doing well. What I was seeing in the pre-shuffle looked like you could be at a point where you're maybe having second thoughts about something. We'll see if that shows up or not, but I was definitely seeing it be about, it looks like something actually that you're in the middle of. So this doesn't look like something brand new that you'd be having second thoughts about. It feels more so like something that there's already a process that's taking place as it relates to this. Maybe it's just going to be a time where you pause and take a look. We're starting off with 8 of Pentacles. 8 of Pentacles is connected with you working on something, putting in a lot of work, dedication, commitment. So you're kind of at your station doing your thing here with this. And with 8 of Pentacles, it can feel like you kind of been there for a long time, sitting there doing this. You could be spending a lot of time working on yourself. This feels like it pertains to your personal life and something that you've been putting a lot of work into. Now, okay, we have a little party going on here. We have Queen of Pence, we have Queen of Swords, we have King of Swords, and I'm also seeing Knight of Swords on the bottom of the deck. I'm wondering if you can be working on something over here, and this even feels like a closed system of some sort. Like maybe this is something isolated from anyone and everybody else. This is just you in your very, very personal life. Like this can very much just have to do with self, something that you're working on and something that you've been working on that I get the feeling like this doesn't have to do with anyone else. This just has to do with you and stuff that you have going on within your personal life and something that you've been focusing on and working on as it relates to self, and that having nothing to do with anybody else, just you with you. Then over here, this looks like somebody that you are in some type of situation with here. This can definitely be, again, like you with you, but this can be like an ongoing connection that you have, dialogue that you have that's going on with somebody. And I wonder if this has to do with something that has been going on with you personally. Maybe there's somebody that you're talking to about this. This can be somebody having both of these energies here. This is somebody that you can like bounce information off of. So you can be working on this within your personal life, and then maybe you're going to this person and being like, hey, I have this thing that I'm processing and that I'm working through, and like maybe you're just talking to them about that. Like a sounding board of some sort. But I almost feel like you have one thing going on personally, and then it's kind of like another part of you that is then communicating with this person. I will say too, like some of you, you're getting better at setting boundaries, and you can be getting better at being transparent as well. Like maybe communicating more willingly and clearly. And actively, I'm also getting too. Now we also have a Queen of Cups. So many court cards. I'm wondering if there's somebody that you're setting boundaries with. I guess it really depends on what's going on for you. Like some of you guys, you can be setting boundaries with another person. Some of you guys, there can just be somebody that you're in active discussion with here. Like maybe you have a friend around you, or just like somebody that you chat with a lot, having these energies next to one another. Now, what is Queen of Cups doing mixed up within all of this? Yeah, a focus on balance emotionally. If you are in a place of self-discovery and working on things within yourself, I wonder if that's going to translate to the way that you're socializing and communicating with others. Because you're in this period of wanting there to be balance. Now where? This feels like I want there to be balance between what's going on within my world of feeling and what's going on within my personal life. And I've been working on this to get the balance right. So I feel like there's harmony within that dynamic with myself. That's making sure that it's like when you're at home, you're feeling certain things, and when it comes to the stuff that you're doing in 3D, it's going to be reflective of that, it's going to honor that, and it's not going to be dismissive of what it is that you're feeling. Because you want to make sure that you're getting the balance right, meaning if you have something going on at home, let's say, it's going to be somewhere in your personal life. You have something going on at home, and it is feeling disturbing to you. This is going to be about honoring that and doing something about it rather than letting things slide. Or even if you feel happy about something or you feel connected to it, it can be honoring that as well. Whatever it is, this is going to be about integration rather than you neglecting pieces of yourself. And I feel like this somehow has to do with somebody that you're in active contact with, that you may be in communication with them a lot. Like you guys may talk about a lot of stuff, or there's just something going on where there's a focus on the communication with you and this person. It somehow has to do with this personal thing that you've been working on. And this feels like a personal thing that you've been working on for a long time with the Eight of Pentacles there. And you can want, this can be with Eight of Pentacles and with Queen of Cups. I have been working on things with myself on the emotional front for a long time, to the point where I feel like I've really gotten in touch with my energy. I've really gotten in touch with my, it can be like my spirituality, with my emotions, with my psychology. And then having that Queen of Pentacles there may be stuff that needs to be done in order to reflect that within your personal life and how you're showing up or how you're not showing up. There is a need for there to be equilibrium within these energies. I'm feeling it, so I need to be showing up in this way. And I feel, again, like this has to do with your personal relationships, your personal stuff. This doesn't really feel like in a work setting or something like that to me. This feels specifically in your personal life. So having that be said, if you're feeling something, this is going to be physically, I need to be honoring that. Because I know that this is going on and I know that this is my truth. And so I want to make sure that the way that I'm showing up, it's going to be in harmony with what it is that I'm feeling rather than opposing it or conflicting with that. So there can be stuff that needs to be done so you can feel like you're in a place of balance with yourself. And then having this Queen of Swords and King of Swords, I wonder if there's like somebody that you're talking to about this. I feel kind of like I think about it and I'm working on this alone and I'm reflecting on this, and then I show up and I'm having the conversation with this person. But it feels like there's a separation between this. Like you're privately doing this stuff and then you're like, okay, I'm ready to talk about it, or I need to let you know what's going on here. Or like, I noticed this today. Interesting. High Priestess is coming out reversed. Maybe you've been keeping feelings within that you're going to expose now. Yeah, having that King of Swords there, I wonder if this has to do with a particular relationship that you have and something that you actually weren't sharing that you're going to share now. Because it's the time to be doing this. Okay, let's backtrack. something that could have been happening before was that when you were not being totally present to yourself emotionally, there may have been stuff going on that you were feeling that maybe you didn't know how to apply it or what to do with it, or you just weren't in the place of working with it yet at that point. I'm seeing a cemetery here. Now I'm seeing you move into a place where you're saying, I need to make sure that the way that I'm living my life within my personal life, it honors truly like what I'm feeling. And now that I'm in a place where I'm present with myself emotionally, I have to make sure that what I'm doing within my personal life is totally aligned and true to what it is that I'm feeling. So I do not feel like I'm neglecting this part of me. Because this is the part of you that feels everything, but we can neglect that part of us. And then we don't feel well because of it. We have things that are going on, but it can be easy to ignore until it becomes unignorable. So working on this part of yourself and now getting to this point where you're like, I got to make sure that these pieces of me feel like they're in a place of congruence. Now it feels like there has been stuff emotionally, and there has been stuff maybe that you've been keeping to yourself just because you were like feeling it, maybe didn't know what it meant, maybe whatever, you know, with the high priestess there, this can be stuff that we're experiencing, but it feels kind of mysterious to us and we don't totally understand. And you have to really tune in and be present to it in order to really get the deeper understanding, to be consciously aware of what's going on. I'm wondering if now this event is being triggered because of being in a place where you're like, I've sat with this, I've reflected on this, and I know that what's going on in my internal world needs to mirror how I'm showing up physically now. And because of that, there may be something that you have to get off of your chest. And you can feel like unless you do that, it's not going to sit right with you. That's what I'm seeing. Because maybe this was something that you were doing to like keep the peace. You may have not been saying anything about this. Because having High Priestess reversed landing over Justice, this can be more so like just it's time to say how you feel, but maybe before you weren't because you thought that was maybe the better way of doing things. But now you can be at a point where you feel like you need to say, I feel like this is something that you've been keeping to yourself or keeping within, or that this hadn't been being exposed, that's now going to be exposed. But having it land over Libra, I wonder if there was something about not wanting to cause waves or not wanting to be like not wanting some type of controversy or not wanting to have to confront something. It can be something like that. Like, I wasn't saying anything. And I just feel like your development has brought you to this place now, and that's why this is coming up. Because it doesn't even feel like I'm not seeing any energies that feel like keeping a secret to. I'm not seeing anything like that. I'm seeing it be more so maybe something that you hadn't fully processed yet until this point. And now this can be something that you're like more fully aware of. And so now it can be the time when you're going to discuss this and talk about it. But there can be a little bit of a hesitance to do that because of seeing Libra here. And what that means is that you can feel like I have to do this, but you may not know what's going to happen if you do this, but you can also feel like you're not going to be feeling good with yourself unless this is something that you expose. And I do feel like this has to do with feelings that were not being talked about. Because this could have been a way where your intuition was telling you something or your feelings were telling you something, but you could have been like not ready to be totally present to them now until this point. But you can also know too that is keeping something distant, separate, that maybe you don't want to be like that anymore. Like it can be keeping things in a place of disconnect, that maybe you don't want things to be in a place of disconnect anymore. So this has to be exposed now if you want things to be able to merge together. But this High Priestess is a place where we can feel very vulnerable. You can feel like very exposed and vulnerable if this is something that you're going to do. I'm seeing the World coming out. I do feel like everything has led you to this point of doing this. Because it seems like because you've been doing all of this emotional and personal work, it's been showing you where you haven't been totally showing up and haven't been totally present to what you've been feeling. But now that you've been doing the work, you're seeing that. And so now having justice there, this can be a time when corrections are being made. It's like all the places that you're not connected with yourself, and these are the things that must be done in order for you to feel that full sense of connection with yourself. But there can even be something here about, I feel like there's something about the difference between what you keep within and what you expose, and they may not always be the same. And there's something about getting these pieces of you on the same page. It's like you on the inside for the Queen of Cups, like she loves blueberries, but Queen of Swords has been like saying something else. And so I feel like this is going to be the matching of the internal and the external. So you're on the same page with yourself. And so there is congruence that I think with this, with the High Priestess reverse, there may not have been, but I think that this comes from a place of you getting to know yourself better now. So you can be seeing where you hadn't been in a place of congruence before. And this is about you accomplishing something with yourself, within your personal life, and how you're showing up within your personal life. And having Saturn there, this can be something difficult that's being asked of us, but only so we can complete this chapter and begin the next chapter within our personal lives. So you don't have to be working on this anymore. But there definitely is something about having to have a conversation here and get things straight. Like there's definitely a need to be doing that. And it's going to be reflective of you being in a place that is true and congruent within yourself. And so of course what's going to come out of your mouth is going to be the same thing. But when you're not in that place with yourself, like when you're in a tug of war with yourself, it's like you say things, but that may not be really how you feel. Or you may not say something when you do want to say something. Or you're feeling something and you're not really letting somebody know how it is that you're really feeling. It's things like this, where this is just the matching of the internal and the external that's going to be taking place here. And this is some type of like lesson that you are completing within your personal life to get yourself all on the same page rather than feeling divided with yourself. And there's also something here about needing to initiate conversations and also to be doing it in the right way. Because before it could have been like, well, I'm not going to say anything because that will keep the peace. And now can be, I do need to say something. And there's a certain way that I want to go about doing that. So that can also be something that's coming up too. Whereas maybe you'd been in more of a Shadow Libra energy before. And this is going to be being like indecisive, like not really reflecting too deeply. So you don't have to own it and stand up within it. And this can be more so like, oh, I'm not going to feel good with myself unless I say this here. And then doing it, it's like you have to address it and maybe wanting to do it in a particular way. But knowing that the way to do this is not to ignore this and not do anything about it. There's a need to initiate here. So that can also be something that's coming up too. Because you don't want to be feeling at odds with yourself on an emotional and energetic level. So this is going to be the uniting of those energies. I wonder too if you feel like these are energies that are kind of like maybe felt like naturally at odds with one another. I'm getting something about a BLT here. You can feel like these energies maybe are naturally at odds with one another, and you want to have them be merged and like synced so they're on the same page with one another, so that things can move forward. Otherwise, you can feel like you're not really progressing out of this situation, but that there's something that doesn't like feel right, and you don't want to be within that anymore. So you're working on bringing balance into your life and congruence into your life. And yeah, it feels majorly like having to expose something that's been being felt but wasn't being talked about. Interesting. I feel actually like there's going to be a really big change that's connected with this. Something that I'm seeing here is that there's been something going on emotionally that I think you have not given a voice to. Like there's been, not even emotionally, there's been something that you've been feeling that has needed to be addressed that hasn't been being addressed, but it may be something where you have to face something painful in order to address it, but otherwise you're not going to feel like things are how they're supposed to be. You'll know that something is out of whack unless this is being addressed. And I think too that this comes from a place of like you maybe not being so confident within yourself, or maybe not being yourself. It can be something like that. And this can have to do with like self-acceptance as well. It can have to do with self-expression. It can have to do with self-love. And about not playing games you don't want to be playing. Because I'm even seeing here too about you wanting to feel more connected. And so if you're doing things that actively reinforce disconnection, it can be the time when you make moves to correct that. It feels like I'm not going to be doing that anymore, like this. But this can be something that is hard to say maybe. But if that's what's true for you, that's what's true for you. It's like a matter of that, I think, more than anything. Because this can be about working with a part of you that maybe you don't stand up for yourself, or maybe you don't like something, or you feel uncomfortable with something, or you don't want to be doing something and you just don't say, you don't speak up, because you can like really invalidate yourself emotionally. Just like this can even be compromising things you don't want to be compromising, but then you feel at odds with yourself because of it. Okay, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.